Anxiety. Something we all suffer with. That's what's on my mind today. Anxiety. The anxiousness you feel when you truly want to achieve something but are aware that you won't be able to do it. That is one of the most annoying emotions that God created. When not, I guess, in rhythm. I truly believe that anxiety in this generation, though, comes from trying to keep up with everybody else's anxiety, which sounds crazy, but it makes sense in my head. We all worried about someone else, which is also worried about us. There's a big circle of worrying about each other that now we all anxious. What do they think? What do they think? What do they think? Me, it's not that I don't care what people think. I'm just starting not to really care what people think, man. My anxiousness also comes from the fact that I want to make the people that pour into me proud. I don't know necessarily how to do that. I know if I continue on this path, I will make them proud. But I don't know what to do about the anxiety. It comes in waves, and yes, I pray to God. Yes, I go to God about all of it. But you still are anxious. Be anxious for nothing. Bring all things to God. That is in the Bible. But I'm just anxious. This generation's anxiety really does stem from not being sure. And too much of it's being put on social media. So now you're trying to keep up with somebody that bought a Lamborghini, but you don't know that their parents gave them the tools to be able to buy that Lamborghini. Sometimes you got to think before you speak. And sometimes people work so hard that just for the Lamborghini, but they're not happy. I'd rather ride in a Honda Accord than ride in a Lamborghini and not be happy. Well, Lamborghini is nice, but I'm more of a AMG GT63 type of guy myself. Something classic, you know. But that's not the point. Keeping up with the Joneses is what's wrong with today's society. What's wrong with this generation is that we are always trying to compare ourselves to somebody else. So why we just can't be happy with ourselves? And this goes with everything we've done, everything we did in life so far. That we need to appreciate the fact that we made it. I think sometimes anxiety is our discernment that we mistake for anxiety. Because truth be told, a lot of times when I'm anxious and I'm unsure, if right after that, either it was a sign that, oh, that right there was the moment you just had to jump off the cliff, or nah, that was keeping you from making the wrong decision. I think a lot of times we need to be better. We need to conflate anxiety with discernment. Maybe that's God saying, hey, hold on now. It's natural, psychologically, it's natural to have anxiety. It's natural to have every emotion that humans feel. The only issue is when it's debilitating and you can't live. But a lot of times you assume you can't live with it without even trying to see if you can live with it. Anxiety just makes me pray more, though, to be honest. This generation needs to be better or stop trying to keep up with other generations. And the generations before us need to get out the way, bro. Like, I feel like the generation before us do not want to go home and let us work. Like, I think because they worked so hard to get to that place that they didn't find no other purpose in life but working. Whereas our generation, we're so anxious because we don't want to be like the ones before us. You know? I don't know if that makes sense. They were both anxious, but they're anxious because they think if they go home, they ain't gonna be able to pay their bills. We anxious because we can pay our bills, but when we ever gonna be home? And I think we need to start being more conscious of that. That we need to find a work-life balance. That is literally what we're supposed to do. And I believe God wants us to prosper, but He doesn't want us to suffer while prospering. And what I mean by that, to be clear, is that you're gonna suffer, but you shouldn't be miserable in blessings. You should be able to appreciate the blessings you got. Because a lot of people wish they were you. A lot of people wish that they could sit in people wish they could sit in the middle of the day and record a video that maybe nobody will see, and not have to worry about, dang, is my car not gonna be paid or my light bill gonna be paid. And a lot of times, bro, we be having first world problems, but we act like they not first world problems. Oh, boo hoo, you can't pay your HBO Max bill. but you still like, bro, it's like, okay, bro, all right. I mean, yeah, we all like HBO Max, but you don't gotta have it. And that's what I mean by keeping up with the Joneses. Just because someone else got it, don't mean you gotta have it. And 9 times out of 10, if you put in the work for it, you'll understand the worth of it. Like I put in this work, I put in pain, I put in them hours. I'm gonna pay this HBO Max bill. But when you don't work for something and still want something, and you worry how you gonna get something, that's the issue. So I really don't know if I really stayed on top of this video. But all I know is that anxiety in this generation is really just everybody trying to keep up with the Joneses and not having the ability to regulate their emotions. And most of the time, it's discernment, and they don't like that. They don't like when God tells them not to do something. They like kids, bro. A lot of us are like kids. I'm like a kid. I don't like when I like, bro. Like, why are you trying to deter me? Like, come on, man. You know. But that's life. That's how I think. This how it's gonna go. We're gonna keep flowing. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep. It's gonna all work out. We just gotta be patient and put in the work. Faith without works is dead. Faith alone does not bring heaven to earth. So that anxiousness you feel, take it to God. Take it to God. And maybe God has the answer to the anxiety. Maybe that's God's warning that, hey, you need to come talk to me before you do that. And sometimes the devil don't want you to do it either. Anxiety is just trying to keep up with the Joneses. Anxiety is fear that you will fail. Failure is just the first attempt in learning. That's what I learned in life. Failure is just really just the first attempt at learning. In learning, because failure, F-A-I-L, first attempt in learning. But that's life. That's the mind with Connor moment of the day. And my thoughts on anxiety in this generation. To be clear, we all have anxiety. I don't think that's the problem. I think the problem is that we cause our own anxiety. I think that's our issue. We cause our own anxiety while trying to keep up with everybody else instead of worrying about ourselves, our interior, who we are, intrinsic value system instead of extrinsic value system. And then we're trying to keep up with the Joneses. That we want the same car as our neighbor, but the neighbor been working for 10 years, and you been like you ain't went to work. That's another thing. You anxious because you don't know how you gonna do it, but you ain't doing nothing to figure it out. Don't be anxious and sit. Be anxious and working. That's my thoughts. Hopefully it's helpful. Yeah, my Connor moment. I love y'all. I don't even know what video this is. I just sit and record, and I don't know when I'm gonna post it. Make sure you pray.